We are on day 364 out of 365 days. It is absolutely crazy that we've made it that far. Both Laura and I were not even sure if we could make it that far because, you know, there has been so many steps in between, but here we are. One day to go. So for this day, for today, we are making our way toward Auckland, and we're going to be stopping at what is probably the best pit stop between the Kauri Coast to Auckland, and it's called the Kauri Museum.
Alright guys, it's a very grim day today. It is our second to last day on the road. Laura and I are a bit sad that this is almost over, but we're pretty excited because we have quite a lot planned for the last 2 days.
So you guys have seen recently that we've been visiting some kauri forests like the Waipua forest and the Trounsden Kauri Park only last night, and kauri are the largest types of trees in New Zealand, and they were once highly sought after because they're a super durable wood used for building, and we learned all about that in the Kauri Museum. There was a whole industry surrounding it, and that really shaped the whole history of the area. And today in the Kauri Museum we're going to be doing a scavenger hunt.
So what we're going to do, it's not going to be straightforward, it's going to be a bit of a magical mystery tour. We're going to sort of zip and throw.
Cool. The way we're going to be going through the museum today is through a scavenger hunt. We basically have a long list of questions that we need to go through the museum to find answers to. They range from a lot of different subjects, and it's really a fun way to explore.
His name is Trevor.
From having to read a few information signs to actually looking very closely at some massive display, it's a great way to see a lot of the museum without, you know, just walking around. The next place that we are heading to is the Kauri Gum Room. The Kauri Gums were actually a very prized possession in New Zealand back in the days. They were even used as currency. So a really good pastime back in the days was to actually polish your gum. Yes, I know that sounds really silly, but if you were to polish your gum, you would be able to get rid of all the impurity and show how pure that gum piece was.
I think she's our most popular mannequin, and it's not because she's naked. I think that's popular too.
Look at that toe. That's so freaky. Can you
I think she's real. I think she's real. She's a real person. She's a real person.
No, the bump is way too still for that.
No, she's a real person. Look at her. She's moving. She's a real person.
That is not a real person.
I can guarantee she's a real person.
Can you actually pick that up on that camera, or should I use mine?
I'm telling you, she's a real person. Yep, so it turned out that I was right and the mannequin was actually a real lady. We'll see her a little bit later today.
The Kauri Museum is seriously huge. One room leads to another, that leads to another, and there's rooms that are about the size of a warehouse that can fit a whole timber mill in. There's so much to unpack here. It's not all just about kauri though in the Kauri Museum. It also tells the stories of the lives of the early settlers that were around during those kauri industry days, and also tells stories about other industries that were popular in New Zealand around the time. There's lots of static mannequin displays with some really lifelike mannequins, as you saw earlier, and then there's this huge timber mill section with some actual working machinery. The Kauri Museum is really where everything that we've seen or learned on the Kauri Coast in the Northland region of New Zealand, it comes together and all the stories are told right here. We've seen some really amazing kauri trees where we've been awed by the sheer size of them, and just seeing how these early settlers used to saw them up and take days to get through just one log is just incredible. We learn so many different sides of this kauri history within this museum.
Is polishing what I hope is gum.
Wow. Another fun fact about the Kauri Museum is that all the mannequins which are on display throughout the entire museum have actually been designed from faces of the volunteers of the museum. So they all look super realistic and very human-like. It's quite amazing.
The next question is, who is in a lot of pain?
It's only when we arrive inside the Kauri mansion inside the museum that we realize that kauri gum is an actual currency.
We've got 2 pieces of gum to pay the man.
You might get him back if he's good.
There you go.
Yes, back in the day this was your entertainment. It really feels like we're in a Western saloon, but yes, that is basically what people were actually spending the evening listening to. And finally, at the end of the scavenger hunt, we find our prize. It was really well hidden in the museum and a really fun adventure.
Believe it or not, there are more things to see at the Kauri Museum, so we go next door to a place called the Totara House, and this is actually a heritage Kauri villa that was in the same family for 117 years. After taking a tour of Totara House and checking out all the vintage Kauri furniture, we are sitting down to one of the best early settler activities there is out there, and that's eating scones and drinking tea. I'm taking one for the road for the final drive of New Zealand's biggest gap year as we make our way to Auckland.
Alright, so we are now making our way back to Auckland. This is the end of our journey. We have one more day tomorrow, and what a day it's gonna be. It is gonna be pretty crazy. We are not gonna spoil anything, guys, but it is gonna be absolutely epic our last day. So yeah, don't miss that out. Tomorrow is the finally of New Zealand's biggest gap year, the last thing that we are going to be doing. We have done activities every single day for a whole year. Mind you, some of them we actually decided were not necessarily activities. We had a few debates, especially early on. But yeah,
Some days where we did multiple activities.
Some days we did more than one, yeah.
Tomorrow is day 365. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. We weren't even sure we would get this far, but tomorrow is our final day on New Zealand's biggest gap year. So join us then, you will not want to miss it.